And are you refreshed? Now what?
Greetings. I have to shout out to my table mates from last night who aligned with me on being here today, so thank you very much. So, my wife and I own a couple retirement communities, and we care for elders. And we work with people who are dying. And
we do too. Everyone.
Let me rephrase that. So we work with people who speak for years. I want to die. I'm ready to die. Why aren't I dying? Why don't I die?
That's why. Next. Anytime anyone says, why isn't this happening for me? That's why. Because that's what they're focused upon. The absence of what they want.
Got it. Got it.
So you want to say, why do you want to die? Why do you want the rain?
So that's the conversation to have with them.
So we'll be you and you be them, even though we're really dead. Why is it that you want to die? What do they tell you?
I'm done. I've done everything I want to do. I'm just tired of suffering.
Telling us the opposite of what we're asking you. You're telling us why you want not to die. We're asking you, why do you want to die? You're telling us why you don't want the opposite of that. But why do you want to die? Because I'm looking forward to the relief, and because I think that there's something more for me, and because I like the idea of reemerging into pure positive energy, and because my life experience has given me all that I've been seeking from it, and now I'm ready for something that is next or more.
Yeah.
Jerry and Esther were sitting out on the porch when they first moved to Texas, and the area had been experiencing a severe drought for some time. And they had a 3-acre piece of property and lots of beautiful oak trees on it. And all of the trees and bushes all were sort of withering a bit. It was obvious that they were wanting rain. And so Esther said to us, Abraham, I want it to rain. And we said, why do you want the rain? And Esther said, because the trees are drying up and the grass is brown and the ground is parched and hard. And we said, we didn't ask you why you don't want the rain. We asked you why you want the rain. And it took a little bit for her to understand. And then she said, oh, because I want the ground to be all soft and moist. And I want the trees to be full of all of the water they want. And I want all the little critters in the bushes to have all the water that they want to drink. And in that moment, raindrops began falling. In that moment, raindrops began falling from a little isolated cloud that was so small you couldn't barely see it. And on the weather report that night, the man reported there was an isolated thunderstorm over Boerne, Texas last night. The only precipitation in the state of Texas. Why do you want the rain? Why do you want the rain? Why do you want it? I want it because it's miserable not having it. That's not the answer. I want it because I'd feel better having it. Well, that's sort of the right words, but it's not the right vibration. And so you have to be a little gentle about it. Also, something happens with those like you who are around them, in that most everyone has this screwy idea about what death is, and you feel guilty about encouraging it, because it's been something that everyone's been discouraging for so long. And so it really seems wrong, no matter how beaten and broken and bad feeling they are. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on.
Yeah.
And so you have to yourself come to this awareness of how life is ongoing, and that they can focus here or they can focus into non-physical. In other words, they still continue to be. Sometimes there is such a internal struggle. I don't want to stay and I'm afraid to go. That's split energy too. And so soothing them and helping them to know not by giving them so many words. You may not want to mix their philosophy with yours too much. Some of them may not be ready to hear it. But when you stand in an absolute knowing of the perfection of reemerging into non-physical, so that that's what you're exuding to them whenever you are anywhere around them, you can help to soften that just a little bit.
I had this thought a while back. When people are in that state where at some level they know they're near death, but they're also still alive as we know it, is that a delicious feeling sometimes where you can just...
Sometimes it is, that sort of drifting in and out. This is an important thing that we want you to acknowledge and offer to them whenever you have an opportunity that feels right to you. And that is, just say, always perfect timing. It's always perfect timing. It's always perfect timing. It'll be just right for you. It's always perfect timing. It's like so many things. I've learned not to push anything, to just let it be. There's more to it than we really understand. There are more involved than we know. Let's just trust them. Let's just relax and trust them. Those kinds of reassuring words. Some years ago, Esther was still doing telephone consultations, and a woman who was a therapist called quite often to talk about things so that she could help counsel some people that she was working with. And this particular day, she was having 2 conversations with a 15-minute segment of refreshment in the middle. So she called and she was talking about her father, who had been in a state of getting ready to go for a long time. And he was hospitalized and he was not having a good time, nor was anyone else. And her question was, what's wrong? Why doesn't he just go? And we said, everything is perfect about this. She said, what am I doing wrong? There isn't anything that you or anyone is doing wrong. It's just unfolding in its perfect way. It's just a matter of relaxing and allowing the perfect unfolding to happen. And so she took her segment of refreshment, and when she came back, during the segment of refreshment, the hospital had called and her father had made his transition. And so she wondered, did I play a part in this? And we said, yes. All of you are influencing one another. Someone who has learned not to be influenced by others wouldn't be hanging around just because you want them to hang around. But when people feel that they haven't got it done, or they haven't said that one last thing, or this isn't resolved, or they want to, and here it is, they want to go back and relitigate their past. They want to go back and relive it and set it straight. It's that sort of feeling that makes them feel like they're not quite ready to go. And of course, no one's ever prodded into anything. But one of the things that makes that often such a difficult experience is that people just don't let go and just joyfully move on to what they really want to move on to. And it's the same reason that in many cases that they were sort of all twirled up in what was going on when they were in their physical experience, you see. And so here's what we really mean to say to you. Anything that you might say to any of them would be good for you to say to anyone you know. It's the same message to everyone, no matter what. Everything is working out for you, and there is a source energy who is keenly aware of you, and you are not being left out of any consideration, and whatever you want is fully being considered under any and all conditions. But you can't be in vibrational opposition to your own desires, which means you can't fear something that you desire. You can't be afraid of something that you want. You can't not believe something that you want. And so my advice to you, you could say to them, is just chill out. Just chill out. There isn't anything that you need to do. Just chill out and try to do a little basking and try to do a little appreciating. Just relax and trust that everything is working out just right. And you will see obvious soothing coming from you. And then the most important thing that we want to say to you is, don't make this your assignment. You're not the gatekeeper. Don't make this your assignment. We know that you want to be compassionate. But what true compassion is seeing from your place of alignment them. And their inner being is not worried about anything. There's nothing out of balance. There's nothing out of whack. It's all just lovely and perfect as it is, you see. And so when you connect with that true compassion, which is seen through the eyes of Source, then you'll relax in it, and they will be comforted by your comfort that you have found for yourself. And then you'll notice an improvement in the tension around the place.
Great. Beautiful. Thank you.
And say to anyone who is standing by, who is yearning or worried, say to them, you need to chill out. You need to chill out. This is not helping. When you see angst or worry or frustration, your message to everybody around is, everything's all right, everything's all right, everything's all right, everything's all right.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Enough?
much.